Okay, we're gonna see if my editing skills are good enough to make this work. Alright, ready? Ready? Let's go. I hope that worked. I guess we'll see later. When The Hunted first came out, I was most interested in Arachne Marionette. I thought the aspect of changing into different demi-heroes was really interesting, really unique, and really fun. However, when I actually bought my case of Hunted, I actually ended up opening a cold foil blood-splattered vest. A card that wasn't really used in Arachne Marionette as much at the time, and more so used in Syndra. I also opened a lot of Draconic Majestics, so I was debating trying Syndra. And then Brody Spurlock does fantastic with the Syndra deck, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And it's fun, but there's something odd about it. Yeah, I liked playing Syndra, but whenever I'd run into maybe like a Jarl or a Victor, and they'd hit me with something like Spinal Crush or Blizzard or something I couldn't really respond to, it felt really bad. The deck couldn't really block well. A lot of your armor you needed for its effects and couldn't really utilize for its block value. Stuff like Flick Knives and Mask Momentum. The second you block with them, you're only blocking with them if you're absolutely going to die or if you're not going to get much value out of them anymore, which is not until very late game. Not to mention a lot of your cards block for 2, not 3, and even then, the only way Syndra gets full value is by sending these 4 or 5 card hands, which is how ninjas win. You send big hands, you threaten Mask, and eventually you get the damage through. I was tinkering for a while with different Syndra lists, and then I found a video by Mara Ferris, or with Mara Ferris, where she's showing off her Fang deck. And she's talking about how Fang is a pretty aggressive Draconic hero. And it got me thinking. I tried her list, and it was okay. Wasn't perfect, but at least not for my liking, but the list at the time felt like it worked. I originally dismissed Fang as, some gimmicky hero that a couple people might really like, and that's it. He seemed like the next Betsy or Olympia, where he has a fan base, but not really good. But I started making my own list, looking at other lists, tweaking it, and I realized Fang doesn't actually have that many bad, polarizing matchups. For a while, every hero that I've liked has actually had some really one-sided matchups. Azalea, for example, not really good into Prism, or not really good into decks that can just outspeed her and deal more damage, or if she just doesn't draw what she needs to. Syndra, as another example, if you just face a deck that has too much disruption, she can't get her plan off. Marionette as well, if you face a deck that can just do more damage or can ignore your on-hits, kind of screwed. And it felt bad. The other thing is, I like decks that are very flexible. If a deck's fully committed to offense, then the second you need to be defensive, they fumble. If a deck's fully committed to defense, say, Fatigue Decimator, insert warrior name here, the second your opponent knows what you're doing and can set up these big combo hands, again, you're screwed. That's it. But playing Fang more, I realized he's the epitome of a hero that I really wanted to play. He has so many tools that can go above rate and send a lot of damage, while at the same time, being a warrior has a really good equipment suite that allows him to block very effectively. Being a warrior, he has access to cards like Valiant Dynamo, Grains of Bloodspill, and Breakforge Bracers, all cards that block very effectively, and can gain you a lot of life in the defensive game. Not to mention, because of how Fang plays by making his daggers free, you can have very powerful one-card hands that are 5, 6, 7 points of value at times. So you can block with 3 cards, send 1 card, and still outvalue your opponent 9 times out of 10. Not to mention, even against Enigma and Zen, 2 of the dominant heroes at the time, Fang had a good matchup. You had cards like Jagged Edge, which could just wipe Enigma's auras, and even then, with his use of attack reactions, it was very hard for Enigma to actually block effectively. Do you utilize this defense reaction on this 1 point of damage? Okay, well I'm just going to swing again and do even more damage, and then now you're going to have to block that, potentially eating up your auras. It was very hard to maintain auras, it was a very good back and forth, and Jagged Edge just made it even better. And Zen, being an effective mid-range deck, you just have to block effectively, send good amounts of damage, sequence your plays well, and you could get there. It wasn't an easy matchup, not by a long shot, but you could get there. Near the beginning of Proquest Singapore, Zen and Enigma quickly hit Living Legend. It did not take that long. They're both at 900 something. But there's one top deck that Fang was still really struggling into, and that was Aurora. Aurora could just push so much damage so fast, Zen didn't have the time to set up his fealties. It was very, very polarizing and very, very difficult. The only way I could even win is when my opponent misplayed or tried some sort of weird combo that put them behind. Not to mention the split physical and arcane damage, which is so hard to deal with, especially as a Draconic hero where 99.999% of your deck is red. It's not happening. So, I tried, and I couldn't do it. I tried to do so many sideboarding differences, tried putting in different cards, tried different strategies, nothing worked. Then, Aurora hit Living Legend. And the week after that, I saw an article for Metagame Minute, and I noticed something. All the best decks that are being mostly represented, Fang has an almost free win against. Florian, for example, while really good against many other decks, if you're playing the long game and trying to outvalue your opponent, Fang is going to win that 9 times out of 10. Sure, Florian has Felling and Plow Under, but those are just 6 cards in his whole deck. Most of Fang's deck is rates only slightly below that. 1 card 7s, 1 card 6s, 2 card 9s, 4 card 15s. I'm gonna outvalue you essentially every turn I'm getting an extra card of value. I'm gonna outvalue you. And New was the next represented deck, and Fang is the perfect counter to New. New has a lot of non-block cards in the form of Chi. She doesn't have a lot of equipment she can use to fully block it out. Sure, she has a lot of defense reactions, but even then, you could still get your fealty pretty fast because she wants to keep some cards for disruption. And the second you get 3 fealties, even if you throw something like Command and Conquer, or Surgical Extraction, or Bonds of Agony, if she takes 1 card out of your hand, you still have 3 others you can swing back with. Again, Fang's 1-card hands are fantastic. Azalea isn't that polarizing. Sure, Red Ledger's annoying, but you just put all your reactions on 1 dagger and you're fine. Plus, she also doesn't like to block, so getting your fealties is pretty easy. Other heroes. Rocky Marionette. Pretty easy win. I can get there. Prism. Pretty winnable. Once you get your fealties online, you can push so much damage they won't be able to protect their angels or get much value from them. Plus, so many of your cards are 0 for 4s, 1 dagger swing into an angel can just easily clear them. Was this the chance for Fang to come out? Was this hero that I've been grinding and working on for months finally going to see their chance in the spotlight? Well, as of recording this video, yesterday was the last day for Proquest Singapore events. And I had one more event to attend. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try to make my current favorite hero shine. I'm going to do what I can to give him the best send-off possible and do as well as I can. And maybe get a few wins here and there. Round 1, Florian, win. Round 2, Florian, win. Round 3, Phi, win. Round 4, Levia, win. Round 5, Teklovossen. Yes, I'm not kidding. Win. Round 6, New, win. Cut to top 8, 6-0. Alright, top seed. Perfect. I can pick which order I go in. That's fantastic. Quarterfinals, Dash IE. It's a slab dash pistol build. Pretty easy. I go second. Set up my reactions, push a lot of damage, go over top all of his defenses, and chip him down pretty quickly. The quarterfinals was New. It was a pretty good back and forth, but ultimately I was able to block a little bit more effectively, just play through their disruption, and I got there. The final round was Florian. And while it was a very good back and forth, and life totals were close, I was just able to squeak out that little bit extra value and win. The last event I could attend for Proquest Singapore, 9-0 finish. I want to put this into perspective. I have played in a couple of competitive events here and there, and I've only made top 8 twice. That was my second time making top 8. My first time was 2 weeks prior, where I got 7th and lost in the quarterfinals. Getting 9 wins and 0 losses is insane. I can't even still process it. But I think that it was kind of time, because Fang is a hero that not many people are planning to play. They're not prepping into Fang. They don't know how to beat Fang. And the heroes that are doing dominant are slower heroes. Fang loves slower decks. I love decks that can let me set up my fealties, that can let me set up these big combo turns, that aren't going to do insane above rate damage right off the kick, that can give me that time to set up. Decks like Syndra and Phi are the decks I really struggle into. But not many people are playing them. They're not as represented. They're not getting the wins that Florian and New are. So everyone's going to be playing the best decks. But when you're playing the best deck, I have more reps into you than you have into me. The stage was set. And I got there. Fang, in my opinion, is a hero that has been grossly underestimated by the field. Yes, getting 3 fealties can be difficult, but once you get those 3 fealties, your hands are essentially always above rate. You're getting almost an extra card worth of value per hand. Once Fang is online, cards like Tooth of the Dragon become a 1-card 6. Cards like Hunt's End, 1-card 7. Every card in your hand becomes basically at minimum a 0 for 4. Imperial Intent, Searing Gaze, Affirm Loyalty, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4. That's not to mention if you also use other attack reactions like Blaze Hedgehog, Oath of Loyalty, for the Dracai, you can have an extra 0 for 4. 3 cards in your hand essentially becomes 12 value. 4 cards becomes 15 value. You're getting an extra card essentially. And these slower decks that try to slow you down with a bunch of defense reactions with blocking you out, they're not going to be able to block you out forever. you're gonna be able to push over eventually. Not to mention, Florian has to play this really, really difficult minigame of when to use Face Purgatory. If Florian uses Face Purgatory effectively against Fang, it could give them a lot of value. But if they miss that small window to use it effectively, that's it. I have had multiple games playing against Florian, like just in general, where they haven't found the right window to use Face Purgatory, and by the time they actually had to block with it, they got no value. It became a 2-block, basically. And that's huge. That is huge. Florian late game is going to be probably sending, these 1-card 5 hands, maybe setting up some rune hands, but you're going to be sending 1-card 6s and 7s. You are going to outvalue Florian 9 times out of 10. It's just a fact. You are going to outvalue him. If they try to block you out, you can use cards like Pledge Fealty and For the Dracai to just make your fealties anyway. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Block me out? Sure. Here, I'm going to make them anyway. And once you're online, there's not really much Florian can do. Sure, he has Summer's Fall, but he has to, keep 2 cards, which, if you're sending above rate every turn, is not really an effective strategy. But also, he has to decompose, and he can only target 1. If you're making a lot of fealties, you could probably quickly get to 4, or 5, or 6, especially once you're online. It becomes easier and easier and easier to make them. So, if you go from 6 fealties to 5 fealties, it's like, okay, I don't care. The thing with new is, assassins, while having a lot of disruption, don't really do well in the damage department. A lot of their numbers are very on rate. They have on rate or even sometimes below rate attacks because their value comes from the implied value of the disruption. A card like Bonds of Agony, well, sure, could maybe go up to 10 if you have 2 Justinix, or maybe go up to 8 or something along those lines. The real value comes from sniping cards from your hand. But if I'm playing as Fang, and I have a life lead because I've been blocking effectively up till then, I can just take the damage, snipe a card from my hand, and I'm still going to send back an above rate. As long as I have 1 card in my hand, my turn's going to be above rate. So I don't really care if you send Lead No Witnesses. I don't care if you send Command and Conquer. I don't care if you snipe 1 card from my hand. I don't care if you snipe 3 cards from my hand. As long as I have 1 standing, I'm fine. Aggressive decks like Dash.io, Fi, and Syndra can be harder because they're aggressive right off the bat and can immediately start pushing damage. And that window where you're trying to set up your fealties is where you're not going to block a lot. So it's really hard to push back and get them to block when you haven't been doing a lot of damage up to that point. But the benefit you have is they're not going to block anyway. So cards like Pledge Fealty, you don't have to run. You can take out your non-blocks in favor for other blocking cards to be able to block a little bit more effectively, hopefully. So how do you actually play Fang? Now that I've talked about why I picked Fang and the fact that he does have favorable matchups in most of the field, how do you play it? Because that's, I think, the biggest problem with most people when they try Fang. They give Fang a try, they don't quite play him correctly, which I did the same thing, and they think he's bad. He's below rate. He's not good. But he's fantastic. Let me explain. Fang's game plan can be broadly summarized into sections. You have section 1, which is make fealty, and section 2, which is Unga Bunga. Making fealty is generally the hard part, but there's some strategies to it. First of all, you do not care about damage. This might sound difficult, but all you really care about is getting those fealties. The damage is going to come later once you have 3 fealties online. As long as you're hitting those 1 points of damage to get your opponent mark and get your fealties, you don't care about anything else. Any other damage is a bonus. You're often going to have to keep 4 or 5 card hands and send mediocre underrate hands because you're going to have to pitch into your daggers, and that's not really effective. Pitching a dagger, swinging for 1, and then playing a card is essentially using 2 cards to do 4 damage. Not really good. But what's important is to make sure you're utilizing your cards effectively. If you have a card like Blistering Blade, for example, or even Tooth of the Dragon, you might not want to play these cards early on because, well, they don't get you closer to your fealty goal. Any card that doesn't get you closer to your goal of fealties, you pitch away and you sink to the bottom. The cards you really want to utilize are cards like For the Dracai, Pledge Fealty, Affirm Loyalty. All of these cards that can really get you fealties fast. These are the cards you want to play early on. You also, as weird as this is going to sound, you don't want to set up an arsenal early on. Now, this sounds confusing, but let me explain. While 5-card hands are generally effective in Flesh and Blood and can be effective in Fang, when you're trying to set up your fealties, that 5-card hand is kind of What's much better is pitching into your Grains of Blood Spill to create a Vigor, because that's letting you save an extra card. Rather than thinking of it as one resource, think of it as an extra card you're going to get to keep in your hand. That's what you want to do early on. It's especially great when you have a blue card, and you're able to swing, potentially twice, and create a Vigor at the same time. As I mentioned earlier, this is also the point in the game where you're going to want to take a lot of damage. You're going to have to pitch into your daggers, which is awkward and clunky, but it's what you have to do to get your fealties online. And keeping these big hands is, while maybe not effective for your life total, is effective in getting towards your fealties. Once you have your 3 fealties, you can just block however you want. As long as you keep 1 card, that's all you need. The way you should be thinking about your game plan broadly is like this. How do I mark my opponent? How am I going to get my next fealty? If your hand does neither, then your next question should be, how am I going to maintain my fealty? Am I just going to throw a Blaze Hedgehog for 4 and no go again, Arsenal and pass? Could be a valid strategy. Am I just going to pitch a dagger and swing and hope it hits? Well, you need to play a Draconic card, so play a Draconic card. But even if you just play a Draconic card and pass, that's still something. Am I just going to throw a Pledge Fealty and pass? Maybe. Could work. I don't know. You want to be asking your question, is my opponent marked? How do I mark them? How do I hit them? How do I maintain my fealties? This is what you're going to care about in your first section of the game. Once you get past that section, the game becomes so much easier. It's just straight math. How do I get a bigger number than my opponent? How do I push my opponent down to a lower life total? How do I outvalue my opponent? And literally, it's 9 times out of 10, it's just pick which cards you want to use. You have 5 cards, pick however many you can pick. There's a lot of little sequencing tricks that you can do in order to get your fealties easier without even having to rely on hitting your opponent. For example, if you attack with a dagger, give it go again in any way, and then attack with an attack action card that's Draconic, like for the Dracai, Blaze Headlong, or Hunt Hunted, you can actually target the first dagger with a reaction like a Firm Loyalty that makes a fealty on 2 Draconic Chainlinks and still get the effect off, which is really, really good. Sure, you don't get the damage, but all you really care about is a fealty. You can also just combine cards like Tooth of the Dragon and For the Dracai to do 2 card 7s, which is still above rate and can still threaten fealties. Another thing you can do is if you're at, let's say, 2 fealties and you need 1 more, and you have a floating resource and you don't need to make it bigger or anything, you can just swing with your other dagger for 1. 1 damage is notoriously annoying to blocking Flesh and Blood, and most opponents are not going to want to commit an entire card to blocking 1 point of damage. Sometimes they'll commit equipment, which is like, fantastic, you've committed equipment, that's great. I surely didn't want you to use that at another point. But 1 damage is really annoying to block, and even if you can just swing it, that second sword, that second dagger attack, just to threaten the fealty, even that's value, because you're going to have to take something from them. In my list specifically, which I'm going to show later, you're going to notice that I'm not including a couple cards that some other Fang decks have been running. Cards like Perforate and Provoke, which, seem good, but in my opinion are not good in Fang. I play Fang like essentially a ninja that can block. That's how I play Fang. He's got better equipment and he can go aggressive. Cards like Perforate and Provoke with the 1 cost feel very clunky and feel like they slow me down most games when I try them. Yes, Provoke takes a card from your opponent, but you know what else can take cards from your opponent? Big number! If you're threatening 15 to 20 damage a turn, you're not going to have to force your opponent to block. They're going to block for you! Your opponent can only take so many 20 plus damage turns before they're like, oh shit, my life total's getting low, I need to block. And Perforate, well, it does draw you a card, and it can give your Draconic card go again if you make it Draconic, sure, and it can make your dagger cost 1 less. Fang already makes your dagger cost 1 less. And sure, drawing a card is fine, but you have to pitch a resource? Wouldn't you rather that card, those 2 cards that you're using to play Perforate and pitch for Perforate, just be 2 other Draconic cards you can use? I don't know. I'm not saying the cards are inherently bad, and maybe there's builds out there that does work for them, but in my humble opinion, I don't like them. These cards are not good in the version of Fang that I am playing. With all that said, there's probably one very big, glaring elephant in the room. What about Jarl Vitredi? Jarl is notoriously the only bad matchup of Fang. Jarl was designed to counter the Draconic heroes. He is the anti-Syndra, anti-Fang hero. So, what about him? Can you beat him? Is it worth even trying? Well, yeah, he's actually pretty easy to beat, believe it or not. Essentially what you do is you have the standard main deck loadout. You keep your defense reactions like Sink Below or Shelter from the Storm. Unless they're playing a full fatigue build, I learned that the hard way, but you generally keep these in to try to cover stuff like Frostfang. But for equipment, you actually use Balance of Justice, Grains of Bloodspill, Braveforge Bracers, and Valiant Dynamo. You might be asking, why Balance of Justice? Why not Crown of Providence? Jarl does often run CNC Pummel, so why not Crown of Providence? Wouldn't that be better? Well, because, dear viewer, Crown of Providence has Blade Break. Balance of Justice has Guard Well. First of all, you're probably not going to be walking with your equipment much at all against Jarl. Valiant Dynamo at most, but that's because you can just take the counter off. You're not blocking with your equipment until you absolutely need to. Until then, leave it. But when you get to a point where you do need to, if you have 3 equipment that Jarl has to break with Frozen to Death instead of just 2, that's huge. That is less Frostbites he can even make, and that's more cards he's going to have to keep to play Frozen to Death. Frozen Death, as powerful as it is, you have to have the card, have another blue pitch card to pay for it, another ice card. You need a 3-card hand to play it, and with Fang pushing, again, 15 to 20 damage a turn, that's very, 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 very hard to do. So not only are you not touching that equipment until you absolutely have to, by forcing Jarl to do the breaking on 3 of your equipment, it's not really a good plan. But what about Mangle? He can throw Mangle for like 10 dominate, right? Can you do that? Well, that's where the don't touch your equipment comes in. If you don't touch your equipment, Jarl's essentially going to have to use 2 whole turns to break a piece of equipment. Not to mention holding a bunch of cards for Mangle if he doesn't have something like Tunic or Tectonic Plating, which usually they do, but Tunic also has to be at 3, so it has to line up well, and yada yada yada. That's also why you have cards like Shelter and Sink Below. You can play that out, combined with Valiant Dynamo, cleanly cover the Crush effect. I see why Warriors cards always look like shit now, because we got this fucking beast of a card that just does everything. So everything else we get is garbage in comparison. But no, Valiant Dynamo can really easily, cleanly cover these Crush effects by just throwing it and a Sink Below or a Shelter from the Storm in front of Mangle, take 3 damage, and no -1, and no -1 counter equipment gets broken. Plus, just pushing so much damage so fast is going to quickly make it hard for Jarl to even set up these turns where he's going to take you down and try to take your equipment down. It's very, very difficult. Cards like Blizzard and Channel like Frigid can be quite annoying, but even then, that's maybe like 1 turn, maybe 2 turns a game that he's often going to do it. And again, he has to hold cards, and when you're pushing a lot of damage, that can very quickly get hard. Essentially, what you're going to do as Fang is just don't touch your armor, push a lot of damage. And getting Fealty online against somebody like Jarl is actually, again, pretty easy. We have cards like For the Dracai and Hunt the Hunter, which can not only mark your opponent very easily, but also get the Fealty very easily. It may seem very hard, but it's a lot easier than you think. And again, once you start pushing these above rate intense numbers, it becomes super easy. I'll show you in the gameplay later, but it is actually very easy to get online and get those big numbers there. So, that is my explanation for why I play Fang, why I think Fang is good, the basic rundown of how to play Fang, and a basic rundown of some of his most likely matchups. So, let's get into the deck list at this point. Okay, so, now that we've gotten the why I'm playing Fang out of the way, the why I picked the deck, we are going to now go through the deck tech, go through why I made the decisions I made, what does the deck actually look like, and let's get into this. So we're going to start, as I always do, with the equipment. So obviously the hero, Fang, Dracai Blades, best warrior in the format currently. We are playing Obsidian Firevein, the only weapon Fang can use. There's no other weapon Fang ever uses or is allowed to use. If anyone tells you different, they are a CIA agent, and you should not listen to them. Obviously, Crown of Providence, Breakforge Bracers, Grains of Bloodspill, and Valiant Dynamo. Now, in my last deck tech video, I said that these were all basically for blocking. I lied a little bit. After playing more, Breakforge Bracers and Valiant Dynamo are basically here for blocking. Valiant Dynamo, as powerful as it is basically just extra life. Blocking 1 extra point of value a turn. Very, very strong. Breakforge Bracers, again, well, good to, maybe get a +1 here and there. Generally, it's mostly for blocking. Grains of Bloodspill. I have so underestimated you since the last time I played. Before you have 3 fealties, pitching another one of your reacts to turn it into a Vigor for next turn is so incredibly powerful because it essentially gives you an extra card in hand that you can utilize. Not having to block, but just being able to be like, no, I'm turning that into a Vigor, I'm going to get an additional swing, or a free swing, basically. And it's like, you don't even really want to see a lot of reacts early on before you have 3 fealties because you're not getting max value out of them. So turning them into Vigors is incredibly strong. I still think you could probably use Flamescale Furnace and do well, but if you can get your hands on Grains, and I don't think it's super expensive at this moment, but you can still get your hands on Grains, get your hands on Grains. And Crown. I said Crown was for blocking, but I also mentioned having Balance of Justice and Kabuto. Now, I think I really downplayed Kabuto and Balance in my last deck tech video, because goddamn, they're strong. Kabuto, I originally said, it's basically for the Warrior Mirror and Enigma. Well, Enigma doesn't exist anymore. What I found is this is really good against Syndra and Fang. Or not Fang, Syndra and Fi. Oh my god, I can't talk. But for Syndra and Fi, this essentially gets you 5 to 6, if you use possible, block value, which is nothing to scoff at. That is nothing small to scoff at. If Syndra plays like Wrath of Retribution, you can just go Kabuto, and you've blocked 2 from that, and a minimum 4 more from the daggers. Minimum. That's not including them throwing it, that's not including them buying it back, that's not including them getting it back in any other way. That is just the minimum, which is nuts. And also for Fi, at the PQ, I had a really good hand against a Fi. I could do like 24, 26 damage, a lot of damage. And they sent Spreading Flames. So what I did was I went Kabuto, Dynamo. And because I blocked with Kabuto, they couldn't swing their Ember Blade. So that blocked 4 more damage. So again, 6 value. And I was up to 7 life at the end of the turn. And I had gone down by the end, I think, to like 4 or 3. This won me the Fi game. This card single-handedly won me that Fi game. Because had I not blocked with Kabuto, I would have taken an additional 4 more damage. Gone down even lower. Been forced to block sooner. It's just gas. In a matchup where your life margins are already tight in an aggressive matchup, Kabuto is so incredibly good. I am so sorry I ever said this card was mid. This card is friggin' gas. There's probably other matchups where you could make arguments for it, but currently it's mainly for Warrior Mirrors, Syndra, and Fi. And also Balance of Justice. It's Balance of Justice. You use it in Brutes, you use it in Kano, because when Kano is like, open the floodgates, you're like, ha, draw an extra card, nerd, and if you draw blue, it's more arcane. It makes your Kano matchup marginally less bad. Speaking of the Kano matchup, I also have, I know I have more equipment. Sideboard, yes. For the Kano matchup, SV2, AB1. You are Draconic. Your deck is very red line. My deck is very red line. I don't want to run a lot of pitch cards that are blue or yellow pitch. So, what do? Spell Void. Essentially, the Kano matchup is very polarizing. It's very much, do they have it? Do they not? If they have it, GG. If they don't, you win. Either way, whoever wins is basically based on the variance on the Kano deck. I think that's less to do with this deck in general and more of Kano as a deck. Because Kano is always like a deck that's like, oh, you're either super lucky and you win everything, or you're super unlucky and you lose constantly. Yeah, that's basically the problem with Kano. But yeah, no, that's the basic equipment loadout. So let's get onto the main deck this time first. I never quite know how to structure showing off the main deck here, so we're just going to start with the Draconic attack reactions. I got 3 copies of Imperial Intent. This might be an odd pick for some people, but I think this is a really strong card to play in this deck. It is functionally a 0 cost for power, because it is 1 cost, but when you have even 1 Draconic Chain Link, which you're going to have whenever you swing a dagger, it costs 1 less. So it's functionally another 0 for 4. No unhits, but who really cares? It's not that big of a deal. It's another 0 for 4. It can extend your chains. It's strong. Next up, we got 3 copies of Searing Gaze. Again, 0 for 4. It can mark if it's a second chain link. Most of the time you're using it as an extender. You're not really using it for the mark effect, but if you have the mark effect, you're fine. It's awesome. Firm Loyalty, probably one of the best ones we got in the deck. It gives you a fealty, guaranteed, if it's second chain link. You are trying to play this on the second chain link, if possible. And you're probably arsenaling it, if not possible. It is really, really, really good. Next up, we got 3 copies of Blistering Blade. It's a 0 for 4, but also, if it's a second chain link, it's a 0 for 5. That is really above rate. Very few decks have 0 for 5s. Speaking of 0 for 5s, Long Whisker's Loyalty. Similar thing here. If this is played on the second chain link, it's functionally a 0 for 5, because you pick one of the modes for each Draconic chain link you have, and I always play this on the second one if possible, and I pick +2 and additional attack. So basically, for 1 card, if you're online, you attack with the second one, make it 4, attack with an additional 1 for 1 more, essentially a 1 card 5. Again, nuts. The value on this deck is nuts. It is bonkers. And then, my favorite, the creme de la creme of attack reactions. Hans End. You have to have 3 fealties, which is fine. You're going to get those anyway. But it gives your next your dagger attack +4. So, with the Draconic Dagger ability to get +1 whenever you play a Draconic card on that chain link. 1 card 7. Attack with a dagger, play that. Goes up to 6. Attack with a second dagger for 1 more. 1 card 7. Like, guys, what other deck has a 1 card 7? Tell me. None. Not even Levia, not even Brutes, known for their big numbers, have this kind of math. And finally, 1 copy of Fire and Brimstone. It's your Blood on your hands. It's your combo card. This card, whenever you play it, can do upwards of 20 plus damage. I'm not even kidding you. It is so strong, especially when you combine it with some of your attack actions like Blaze Hedgehog and for the Dracai. No, it's just it's fucking bonkers. All right, next we're gonna go into our Draconic instance. 3 copies of Pledge Fealty. It gets you a Fealty, guaranteed. It's instant. It does its job. Very simple. For Pledge Fealty, you want to see this early on, but even if you see it late game, you don't really mind that much. Usually if your opponent's very, 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 very low life, what they do is they'll overblock on the first dagger. So what you can do is you can just play Pledge Fealty, sidestep, and go to the next dagger. And then you're chilling. You're good. To basically waste block value if they're overblocking or blocking too much. And the other one we have is Tooth of the Dragon. Next Draconic gets +3, but you basically play this to give your dagger +1, and the next one +3, so that's a 1 card 6. On its own, a 1 card 6. You can also combine it with your Draconic attack actions to make them 7s, so it's 2 card 7s. Again, really good. Really, really good. Especially combining this with another one. So you swing with this, make the first dagger 2 go again, swing again. Next one's 4, and then if you have another Draconic attack action, like I'm blanking on it. Imperial Intent. That goes from 4 to 7, so 7, 8, 2 card 9. Guys, you are functionally getting an extra card of value every turn with these cards. Like it's insane. Next up for the Draconic attack actions, 3 of Loyalty. Great starter, blocks 3, comes in for 4, not much else to say. Blaze Hedgehog. 0 for 4 if you played a red card. Surprise, surprise, 99% of your deck is red. So that's going to get go again most of the time. And for the Dracai. If you attack a marked hero, you get a Fealty. You actually don't mind if it's early in the game, if you're not online, and your opponent's marked. If your only play is for the Dracai pass, you don't mind that. You're fine. Because the thing is, if it takes you to 2 Fealty, your opponent's now going to have to give up 2 cards or a card in armor to cover that. Because a lot of times opponents try to deny Fang Fealty, because they know that the second I hit 3 Fealty, they're basically dead. So they try to deny it, but they're essentially using resources on your least damage, your weakest cards, because it's the only on hits you're presenting, which is just it's like your weakest cards, your lowest numbers. That's what they're gonna block. That's what they have to block. But even if not, guaranteed Fealty. You need that for decks that are going to try to block you out. Guaranteed Fealty. Okay, next we're going to go into the non-Draconic attack, or non-Draconic cards. First up, we got 6 copies here of Scar Tissue. 3 in red, and 3 in yellow. It marks, you can make it Draconic. I typically try to make this Draconic as often as possible when I have extra Fealties, because when I do, 0 for 4, 0 for 5. And it marks. Insane, good value, just another reaction. Even if you don't make it Draconic and you just add it to another thing, good numbers. It does good. My probably favorite non-Draconic card in the deck, or second favorite, one of my favorites, Blade Flurry. And I say this is my favorite for one reason. If you have a Fealty, this is a 1 card 7. You play your dagger, you pop a Fealty, you play this, 4 go again. Swing your second dagger, 3 go again. For 1 value, if they're low life, you need to take 3 cards from them. That is just so much. It's so strong. Like, I don't even know if I had the words to keep saying that this deck is just so high value. Like, 1 card 7, guys. 1 card 7 for doing something you're probably already doing. Next up is my actual favorite non-Draconic card, Savor Bloodshed. 9 times out of 10, I'm playing this for damage. It's a 0 for 4 that blocks 3. Makes your dagger 5. If your reaction, it's 8. And then if you swing your other dagger, 9. But if you're able to draw a card, that is functionally 7 points of value on one card. 7 value on one card and nothing else. That's like the third 1 card 7 that's in the deck. Like, come on. The third 1 card 7 that's in the deck. Next, we got 3 Glint to Quicksilver. I don't like having many blues in this deck because Fang doesn't like having a lot of blues. He likes to not pitch first cards, but I don't mind having Glint. Glint's good to pitch early, but the thing that I like is you pitch it early, right, to pay for your daggers, whatever. But then when it's in your pitch stack and you see it later in the game, your opponent's almost certainly getting cards in their hand. Play that, draw a card, and you functionally have a 57 card deck. So it's good early game. You don't mind seeing it late game. And worst case scenario, it's another way to sidestep. Your opponent commits 2 cards to blocking. Okay, Glint, draw a card, next one. Now they don't know what you have. You punish them for blocking. You punish them for not blocking, you punish them for blocking. They can't do anything right. That's the best part about this deck. 3 Relentless Pursuits. It marks. You want to see this early. So you typically want to see this early. Just play it, mark the opponent, start swinging. But if you see this and you're already online, you park it in Arsenal, you wait to get a Saber Bloodshed, you go Saber, Relentless, and then start swinging. Just to guarantee that potential, to guarantee threaten that draw. But even better than Relentless Pursuit is the card Tip Off. Does the same thing, but at instant speed. My favorite play, Saber Bloodshed, attack. Okay, they maybe block a little bit. Okay, play a reaction, discard, Tip Off, instant speed, draw card. Guys, Snatch during the reaction step? Come on, that is bonkers. It's Willy Wonka, Dr. Seuss level bonkers. Come on. And then for the D-Reacts, we have 3 Shelter from the Storms. If you're somebody who's playing on a budget, this card is pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, you could probably replace this with Favor Scene. I have used the instant ability quite a bit, but I feel as though you could probably get by with just using like Favor Scene or something. And also Sink Below. Blocks forward, filters your hand. Not really much else to it. So that is it for the main deck here. But I also want to get into the sideboard a little bit, because that's the sideboard is the biggest thing that has changed since my last deck tech. The first thing that's stayed the same is that all you got. 3 of them. Bring it in for Assassins. Neatly covers their daggers. It's another reaction to prevent their on-hits when they actually matter. Mainly it's to cover the daggers. And actually get some value from it, because a lot of Assassins will run Scale Peeler into you. So being able to not only cover Scale Peeler, but draw a card off of it, it's good. It is really good. And essentially for all of the sideboarding decisions, what I do is I take out the 3 Imperial Intents and replace them with this. Only because Imperial Intent is, not that it's bad, but it's the weakest attack reaction you have in your deck, essentially. Like, not that it's bad, but out of all of them, it's the one you're going to miss the least. And my camera's shaking. Okay. So the next card that got changed is 3 copies of Hunt the Hunter. Originally, this was 3 copies of Endear Devotion, the 1 cost attack reaction. But I was testing and I found so many games where I'm like, man, this card is so clunky. This card is so awkward. I don't like using this card. I don't like having this card in my deck. It's so weird. I don't like it. And I realized, whenever you're using Endear Devotion, it's essentially a 2-card 5 before you're online. I'm like, I don't like that. It's really bad rate. Like, even before being online, it's not really good rate. Like, 2 resources for 5 damage? Come on. And you have to play it on the second chain link, so it's even more awkward, so you have to have a blue, which you only have so many of. No. Hunt the Hunter. Even better. So, what you do, you play your dagger. If it's early game, you pitch a card, you play your dagger. You play a reaction, which, again, most of them are red. Play Hunt the Hunter, now they're marked, and now they have to block this out, which, this comes in for 5? 5 is awkward to block, even with Deed Reacts, which is the main reason I like this over Endear Devotion. And thing is, the other thing I like about this over Endear Devotion is this card, on its own, is good. You just play it. You can play it as a chain ender as well, which is really, really good. It's just a lot more flexible than Endear Devotion for the slightly less cost of not inherently making a fealty, but instead just marking the opponent. The matchups I bring this in typically is, well, mainly Florian. I take out the 3 Sync Belows because Florian doesn't have a lot of on-hit cards or on-hit effects to worry about, so take out Sync Belows, put in 3 of these to push a bit wider. I also bring this in into matchups where I know are straight Fatigue. Fatigue Jarl, I had Teklovossen I played against, brought those in. I wouldn't bring them in against Victor, mainly because Victor, while can block you out, can only block you out so much, mainly because, well, he's clashing a lot. He doesn't want to play a lot of defense or defense reactions, so he can't really block you out as well as other decks can with the defense reactions. But Florian, Fatigue Jarl, Teklovossen, those are the main ones that brings in. And finally, 3 red Battlefront Bastions. Yeah, these are your poppers. It's probably the best generic popper we have in the game. It's 7, and also, what I like doing is if I'm playing against Prism, I'll have a D-React in Arsenal. I'll go like, okay, Battlefront, pop. And if they go like let's say I'm playing against Herald of, let's say they're playing Herald of Triumph, that makes it -1. They crack Halo, they search the -1 Figment, and they're like, okay, now this is 5 power. So then you go, okay, Sync Below, because this also prevents 1 damage. So this is now blocking 7. Clean cover. Clean cover. It gives you a good, it's a block 3 as a plan B, which we always love. But I also found that in some matchups, particularly if you know you're playing against Pistol Dash and those other Fatigue matchups where you know you're not going to want to block anything, you just need to send damage, I take out Shelter for these. And that might seem like a really strange choice, like why are you bringing this card, like a 3 cost in a red line deck? It's because you just need damage in those matchups and D-React slow you down. This, at the very least, if you're pitching this and in late game you see this in a blue, like if you have 2 reacts, this in a blue, you can go react, dagger, react, Battlefront Bastion for like, that's like 4, 8 plus 7, that's like 15. Still good rate. Still really fucking good rate for what it is. Again, not how it's intended to be used, but if you're not going to utilize your defense reactions, it's better than having dead cards in your deck. At least you can use this, right? And also, against Pistol Dash, what I found was if they fire the pistol, you go block 2, then you carry the float the prevention, then you can, with the other one, just throw your Valiant Dynamos in front of it, and that cleanly covers it. And you've essentially blocked out their pistols with 1 card, functionally, which is really good. Not many cards can block 4 damage. Not many decks can functionally block 4 damage from 2 sources on 1 card. It's gas. It is absolutely gas. So with that, that was my deck list. We're going to get into the gameplay now, and I'm going to walk you through some of the plays I do. Okay, so we're doing the first game here, and it's against Arachne Marionette. We got the choice, so we're going to go second. You basically always want to go second as Fang, as probably mentioned earlier. So sideboarding options. Equipment stays the same, Crown of Providence, arms, and they left. Okay, first game here is against Florian, going second, obviously. I'll just say thinking just so I can explain quickly my choices. So with the equipment, all we're doing is switching out the Null Room gloves. If you don't have any Arcane Barrier, they're just gonna kill you with Arcane. Like they'll just block everything, stack, and you will die. In terms of sideboarding, we actually just take out sinks because they don't have a lot of like on hits. I don't think Florian has any on hits I really care about. Take out the sinks and put in Hunt the Hunter to go a little bit wider so they can't quite block things out properly. And that's really it for sideboarding options. Everything else stays exactly the same. So we're summon deck. Okay, this is a fantastic hand. This is great. Make it Rune Chant. Okay, and we are going to. Ooh, we got Arcane Barrier. What are we Arcane Barriering? Let's get rid of the Relentless Pursuit. Just get rid of the blue so we have that late game. Because we already have. Well, now we have multiple ways of marking. Oh god. Okay, this is great. This is great. Swing with the dagger. And play Blistering Blade, discarding Tip Off, marking them instant speed, create a Vigor off of Grains with the Lash Flowing Resource, arsenaling, Relentless, and passing. That is the line that I'm seeing right now. It might seem weird to not play the other Scar Tissue, maybe pitch one of the blues, but having this extra mark, having a guaranteed mark instead of an on-react mark is better. Not saying scar tissue is bad, but between something always happening and something sometimes happening, you want the thing that's always going to happen. Okay, so because they didn't hit, can't make a vigor, sucks. We're actually just going to swing for one more, because 1 is a very awkward number to block. See, now they have to give us a whole card just to block it. We've just essentially taken an extra card from them, which is awesome. Park that in Arsenal. Ka-chow. And they just make a rune chant pass. Perfect. Okay. This is a bit of a awkward hand. Or actually, not really. I can make it work. Play the dagger, pitching Savor Bloodshed, and we're going to play a Firm Loyalty. I'm giving it go again. It's unfortunate we can't play it on the second chain link, but that's sometimes what you have to do. Because we're really just trying to get that fealty through. And then we're going to play Hunt the Hunter. It's a 5, meaning it's awkward to block. And it's going to remark them if this does hit. So that is 6. Just play it to give go again. Unfortunate, sucks, but oh well. And then Hunt the Hunter. Just giving us cards. And as you can see, like, we're already pretty ahead in the card game. Like, we got more cards than them, so we're already ahead in that front. Savor Bloodshed. When we can play this, it's fantastic. Pitching that. And then Long Whiskers buff power, because this is now incentivized, because the draw effect on Savor Bloodshed is nice, but 9 times out of 10, it's just more damage. It's just 4 more damage, because now, if I play this, that's now 8. That's a lot to cover, and that's going up to 10. Let's throw out another Hunt the Hunter, because now they're going to have to give me armor if they want to block this. Do they want to give me armor this early? The answer, they do not. Which is totally okay. This hand, fantastic, because we're just going to play Relentless Pursuit. Throw out for the Dracai. Now we're at 2. Arseling last for the Dracai. Actually, no, Arseling Oath of Loyalty, because if they play Plow Under, we lose it permanently. Yeah, okay, reduce ring shape, that's fine. Yeah, Arseling Oath, because if they play Plow Under and we Arsenal for the Dracai, we lose it permanently, which sucks. Scepter, we're going to AB1, pitching... Shelter. Get that into the late game. And then we are... Ooh, okay, what's the play here? Then we're going to go pitch Hunt the Hunter, attack with Long Whiskers, and then for the Dracai. Buff power. Because I don't really have to reset Dynamo, so it's not really a big deal here. Yeah. Oh, we're down for 3. Okay, so one's going to leak over, so we're going to get the 3rd fealty, which is great. And another one. That's fine. Look, that's two D-Reacts they've used up on this one dagger, which is totally okay. They're decomposing, which is, you know, getting them closer to their goal, but that's whatever. Now we're at 3 fealties. Now, 4 fealties, actually. 4 fealties is exactly where you want to be. This is like your way to victory. 4 fealties means even if you have a non-draconic card, you can still make it draconic, you can still go wider. Okay, Felling of the Crown. So these rune chants, so we're still at 40, so we don't really care about the damage, but these rune chants, we're not going to block them. It's not going to happen, that's just a fact. So we're just going to take them all. Anytime you face a rune blade, you're not going to block the, you're just not going to block the rune chants. It's not happening. You're a red line deck. So just take them. It's a price you pay for playing Fang. I'm going to make us sink a card. I'm going to sink Scar Tissue, because I want to go a little bit wider with Oath in this next turn. Because that's 4, 8, 12. And they've done 5 so far. So 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'd match them. Yeah, because if I give them this. Yeah, I'll match them damage for damage. But I'll be ahead because they have less. They started with less damage than me. And the thing's also in facing Florian. and this is a mistake I made quite a bit early on, is while they have Face Purgatory up, you are often going to want to keep an extra card whenever you have your big combo turns. Because I've had so many times where I'll throw out Oath of Loyalty, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I have 2 other reactions. I'm going to go dagger, react, something else, right? And then they'll just throw Face Purgatory, and I'm like, well, there goes, like, a bunch of damage for my combo. But if you have an extra card that you don't care about, like Pledge Fealty, and you're just like, oh, whatever, throw away that, you're still chilling. It's your insurance. And Creedal Intent. Say you have to have it. Yep, you're fine. I'm still pushing damage. That's a 3-card 12. Which is pretty above rate. And whew, that's a good hand. This is good, this is good, this is good. Like, oh, this is all really good. So this is... We're going to take the Rune Chance. So we are down 10 life. That's okay, because life is a resource. So we're going to play this, swing this, play this, buff that up to, so that's 4, that's 7, and go here, buff power additional attack, that's 4, into 6, that is 17. That is 17 damage off of 4 cards. A 4-card 17. Because, yeah, they play that. I hope I did the math right, because that's into that, so that's 4. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. And that's 1, 4. Swing one more time. 1. Yeah, 7. Yeah, or 6. 6, 4, 7. Yeah, that's 17. And the insurance here, if they had played Face Purgatory, I would have discarded the Searing Gaze and used the Pledge Fealty in my arsenal to just make up for it. So the Florian's not really blocking, which is odd to see, but, you know, I'm definitely going to make use of this. And then swing with one more. Hunt's End. So we started the turn at like an almost over 10 life deficit, and now it's 15 to 17. In one turn we flipped it. This is why I play Fang. This is why Fang is so strong, because you could just flip tempo so quickly, so easily. Channel the Millennium Tree, that's a bit of a pain. Okay, what are we gonna do here? So we have this is why the 4th fealty is good, because no Draconics sucks, but oh well, it's just this. I'm just gonna put Shelter. No, you can have it, it's fine. I wasn't gonna cover it anyway, it's okay. Start with Obsidian Firebane. Popping a fealty, making this Draconic. That's a 1-card 7. Alright, cool. Because 4 and 3, 1-card 7 already. Nope, we don't have to, we're not gonna pay bigger. Why are you screaming? My cat's screaming. Anyway, so, yep. Alright, let's see if Glint gives us anything better. We can get a Long Whiskers. 2 more. No, we're not going to play that out. We're going to save that. Actually, yeah, we are going to play it out. Force him to waste his equipment. Got like no value out of it. Well, he got life value. He didn't get the value to stop the mark. And we're just pushing damage while he can't really do much. Another fantastic turn. Malefic. Do that. I'm gonna AV1. I'm gonna AB Affirm Loyalty. So we can go Dagger, 1, 2. And got rid of the tree. Come with the Lorax. I'd be chopping down all these trees. Or not the Lorax. Who's the dude who cut the Onceler? That's the guy. I'm the one slower. Chopping down all these trees. Yeah, no. Okay, so that's 4. Would go again from the Pledge Fealty. Fantastic. Give us D-React. Cool. Don't care. So with the other one, now that they're at sub 10 life, they still got quite a bit of armor, which is a little bit concerning. But do they have another D-React? Nope. Because the thing is with armor is a lot harder to utilize against Fang, because my damage is almost never on the table, so it's hard to know when should you use your armor, when shouldn't you use your armor, stuff like that. Germinate. Interesting. Not bad, but interesting. We can still... 2 embodiment of Earth 4 embodiment of Earth tokens. A lot of rune chance. Okay, this is not looking good at this point, but that's okay. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Still make this work. Can still make this work, definitely. 7. Pledge Fealty. And then other Obsidian Fire Vein for 1. 7, so that's 4. Up it to 9. Let's see if I can push it. I'm you see if it go again. And I'm going to fire the Blaze Headlong for just 4 more damage to strip at least another card from their hand. Sure. Okay, this is the kill turn. This is the kill turn. They're done. This is game. GG. Because this... Okay, so we're going to go Fire and Brimstone. Or not Fire and Brimstone. Saber Bloodshed into Obsidian Fire Vein for 5. Popping a Fealty. Scar Tissue. Pass. That is... Do you have D-React? Nope, 5 damage. Throw the other one. Block you with fruits. Into Fire and Brimstone so we can attack again. Face Purgatory. Pop one of these to play this. They couldn't get full value out of it. They couldn't make you discard a card. And now to end this off, we're going to attack for 2 more. Hunt's End for 7. We get to draw for the Saber Bloodshed. Not going to make a Vigor. Blaze Headlong for 4. Can they block it? Guys, 23 rune chance. All Florian had to do, throw 1 attack, we would have almost certainly dead. And we got there. We got there. On the verge of losing. They played Germinate. They literally had a game-winning card in their hand. Too slow. 1 turn too slow. Max punish. Max fucking punish. This is the power of Fang. Okay, so second game here is against Levia. She's not a hero I've played against a lot, but you know, I still think it's a good matchup to know. I did play against one at the Proquest, so I'm going to show off the sideboarding. So first of all, Balance of Justice. Obviously, Blood Rush Bellows, counters it hard, easy, easy, easy. I was never certain about the D-Reacts. I like putting in the D-Reacts in case they have Pulping, just so I can easily cover it. Because you never really know with Fang if they have Pulping or if they have the D-Reacts or not. So some Brutes I find will still play Pulping. Just because, like, some Fangs have D-Reacts, some Fangs don't. It's 50-50, sometimes they do. So you can sometimes get them on I guess, trap them pretty well there. Okay. So this hand's okay. Pitch Blistering Blade. Just play Pledge Fealty. Move to end. And we're just going to Arsenal Pass, because they're just going to give us the other 2 cards for the other one. There's 1 6 and 1 non-6 there. A Gilet Wind Up, which is fine. Put that in Arsenal. Okay. Not exactly the cards we want to be seeing early on, but we can still definitely make this work. We got 2 cards we can pitch for late game. Fire and Brimstone. Seeing that late game is fantastic. We can go Dagger. Just attack him Beast Within for 6 go again. Not too concerning. We'll just give him legs and then pass. No blocks. Raw damage, we don't care. Our life is a resource, and we're using it. So we're going to start with pitching Fire and Brimstone, and playing these 2 to make this 5. Awkward to block. And we go 5. Go again. My favorite part about playing against brutes is it's so they're like the easiest class to actually block against as Fang. They don't have like many on hits. They have like send packing, and that's about it. Searing Gaze on hit, get a fealty, mark remark, unless they have sink below. Totally fine. Totally fine. They're still marked, so we're still taking a step towards our minigame. Still in a good position. Still have the 1 fealty. All good. This is also really good. Oath, Long Whiskers, and Blistering Blade. All really, really good. Hungering Slaughter Beast. Okay. Blocking 1, taking 6. So I'm going to send Oath for 4. They might give us Scowling. Which I'd actually rather they give us Scowling at this point than later on, when I have like a really big combo turn. But that's whatever. Pitch. We're gonna go buff power on hit mark on this dagger. And we're gonna create a vigor with last resource, just in case this last one doesn't hit, even though it's almost certainly gonna hit. We got Blistering Blade, which is another 5 power, which is awkward to block. Get it through, get online. And now we're there. Again, in 1 turn, we've closed the gap. They were at almost full life 1 turn ago, and now it's 29 to 21. It's a much smaller gap, much easier to deal with and break. Okay, so we are at 3 fealties currently. I'd like to be at 4. 4 is the ideal number. Okay, so this is 9. They're probably going to give him the Relentless Pursuit because I don't need that anymore. I want to get that on my deck. And Dynamo, so that's 4. That's 9. It's taking 5. Yeah. Taking 5. And then now the dagger's free. Keeping 3 cards. Nice and easy. And the thing is, even if they play Scowling Flesh Bag, we're fine. We are fine. It is so easy to get hits on Levia. Personally speaking, from what I know. So even if we have to break a fealty, we have that 1 floating resource to just swing the other dagger, which is really strong. Searing Gaze and Blade Flurry, so that's 6. And we make the bigger, why not? Into another one. 4, 6 more. Gap is shrinking, and I still got my full fridge. Oh. Hunt's End. Perfect. 1 card 7. Let's go. Could be 1 card 8 with the vigor. Alright, Agile wind up for, how much is that coming in for? 12. Ooh. But no worries. It's okay. We're going to go 4. Reactions. Preserve our life a little bit with these other 2 reacts for 12. And also, if they don't respect this, I might be able to deny them the flip. I also just realized I misplayed. I shouldn't... Against Levia, against Brute, you should never keep a 1 card hand. That was my misplay. I've denied them the flip. If they were able to read that, Oh, did I not activate Brave Forge? Oh, whatever. I thought I activated Brave Forge. Oh, well. Rolling a 1 on Scout! Holy shit! Okay, yeah. Oath. Send it. Yeah, had that Levia been able to read it, when I have 1 card, that's fine. Because, guys, this is why we have 4 fealties. Now, even that I don't have a Draconic, even that I'm like, oh, what was me? What's gonna happen? Boom. Fixed. Hey, don't do that. Arsenal. Rolling scabs again? Another one! No fucking way! Okay. This is troll. And this was such a good hand. So we're gonna go Saver, Dagger, Imperial Intent, Dagger, Tooth, for the Dracai for 7. Quick rematch? Should I do a quick rematch? Yeah, let's do a quick rematch. Let's do this again. Okay, this hand is ass. This hand is ass. I don't want to keep it, so I'm just going to pitch the Hunt's End. An Arsenal to sink below to see that in my pitch stack. I don't like that I have to make them block. Because, again, I don't want Levia to have cards in her graveyard. But, again, I have to get rid of it. I can't have this in my hand. Like, it's not good. Ghostly Visit, okay. Smash back, Alehorn. Drain actions, sinking the Fire and Brimstone. Okay, that's much better. So we're gonna go. Pitch Saver Bloodshed, giving us 2, and giving 6. And I know you said you want to make a Vigor, but because of Firm Loyalty is a guaranteed fealty, park that in Arsenal. Park that. Could not be better. This hand could not be better. Another mark way. A blue. Another way to deal damage. A Draconic instant that can give it go again. And a guaranteed fealty creator in the Arsenal. This could not be better. This could not be better of a hand. So they played Blood Arch Bellows. They got a Cracking Savage Sash. They could be doing quite a bit of damage here, but that's, you know what? That's okay. We're at 38 health. We can use our life as a resource. We can push damage here. It's totally okay. Alright, they are coming in for 12. Ooh. I don't want to give them cards, so what we're going to do is we're going to give them my armor first. Block 6, take 6. Are they going to... What are they doing here? Swing with Claw. 2. I'm going to break balance and response. Oh, chat. Oh my god. No, we're not. No. No blocks. No blocks. We'll take the damage. No blocks. You might be saying, chat, you might be saying, you know, why are we going down to 18? That's such a low life total. Look at our hand. It is so gas right now. Even if they throw Scowling at this point, which they might. We have a backup plan and a Firm Loyalty in the Arsenal. It's not as good. Or we even don't have to, because the thing is, with Fleshbag, there's a little funny note with Fleshbag. I have a window before it triggers Tooth. Not as much damage as I would have liked. I'm not gonna lie. But I will take it. And having this in Arsenal, this one card, this potential 1 card 7, I'll take it. We chillin'. We're gonna go boom boom. That's 10. Do I have the resources? I think I have the resources for bigger. And chat. Do you see the card we just drew? Boom. 1 turn online. 1 turn online. Oh my god. Not one turn online, one turn in the perfect state. This is actually perfect. I cannot overemphasize how perfect this hand state is. This board state is. Because now, even if I have to block my full hand, 1 card 7. And the life totals are closed up. Okay. Alright, let's think here. So they have 2 cards in hand. They can send that ghostly visit, guaranteed. That's... I don't want to go down to 10, so I might have to give him a gold cards block. That's okay. So we're gonna give him 1. I'll give him 7. Take 1, because I can still have a very powerful turn with just these 3 cards. And I'm gonna take the 4 because we do that game. Swing for 1. It's never 1. It's never 1. And again, we are up in the card count game. You can see here, 43 to 47. I am ripping multiple cards for every like 1 card they take. I use. I'm taking like 2 cards from them. And the other thing about Levia that's specifically good against her is because so much of your stuff is in reacts, it is so much harder for her to get the flip. And kind of plan on how to get the flip. On top of managing your blood debt, and on top of managing all that, Fang is so hard to block against. If you block incorrectly, I could just shoot you back, shoot you quickly down under 13. That's it. That's it. Okay. Oh, I want to change blocks. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, no blocks. We're gonna go buff power, additional attack. That is sending Blaze headlong, taking it down to 11. And 1 more. They're down to 10. And we have a Hunt Send, Pledge Fealty, with a Scar Tissue, and for the Dracai. That's 10 plus 4 on the 14. Casual threatening 14. Oh, Jesus. No, go get on the Dread Screamer. Let's go. Okay, Dynamos. Take my shoes. Let's go. Probably never see those again. Probably never gonna get those back. Since they're gonna cover it out anyway, we're just gonna play Pledge Fealty. Make them waste the block that they used. And make them always on edge. Because they're like, oh, do they not have a react? Are they just gonna send 1? What are they gonna do? Hunt Send. Pass. Taking 2. Create a bigger. And for the Dracai 4 more. Taking them down to 2. Or taking them down to 5. Which is still totally good. 10. Oof. Ooh, that's a big number. That's a big number I don't like. But that's okay. It's okay. So 4, 5. I don't want to go down to 3. 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Yeah, we're just going to give up the armor. Pass. Sink. Go sink. Take 3. Go to 5. Boom. Boom. And now, chat. At this point, I basically won. No matter what Levia does, I've won. That's how easy it is to win with Fang. It's just so easy. Okay, so this game is against a Teklovossen. Now, Teklovossen is an interesting one. Yesterday was the first time I played against a Teklovossen in a long while. Basically what you're doing is you're taking out all these D-reacts and you're trying to go just full damage. These are now damage dealers. These are 2-card 7s with your blues. Again, not ideally how you want to use them. Not what they're in the deck for. They're in the deck as poppers, but in matchups like these, you kind of have to. You just need damage. Teklo blocks a lot. Teklo plays slow. So what you got to do is you just got to be like, I'm just going to send as much damage as possible. And be able to sidestep you and just push over 8, over 8, over 8, over 8. Start this turn, or start this game, just Relentless Pursuit into for the Dracai, guarantee 1 fealty, arsenal scar tissue, and pass. Because you're going to have to give us 2 cards, which is totally fine. That's 2 cards. Then we're going to arsenal scar tissue. As another attack react, which is fine. Oof. This is great. Pitch. Oh, did they miss something? My turn. Just thinking they want to do something else. Ah, it's in the battlefront. Yeah, we'll block 1, take 6, it's fine. It's just raw damage, we don't care that much. It's fine. Plus, we have more damage. We have better numbers with send. We're gonna go go 1, 2, 3. They're gonna take. Oh, they got Fate. Do they have another one? They do. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. On him, mark an additional attack. Because now on this hits, it's gonna mark and remark, and then I'm gonna swing them for 1, which not a damage you want to be blocking. And this is another thing with Fang is the 1 power daggers where you're just like 1 fealty on hit. Those are so powerful because nobody wants to give up a full card for 1 damage. That's why Kodachi for 1 is so powerful. It's just like, okay, 1 damage, take it. But especially when you're like, I'm threatening bigger number, then it's like, oh, crap. Okay, dagger for 1. And now, we just push. We just push, chat. Because I'm looking at his hand, and I'm seeing 15 damage. 15 damage. Let's see. So we got 6, 4, 5. 15 damage off of 4 cards. 4 card 15. You're essentially, when Fang's online, getting almost an extra card of value every turn. Okay. Imperial Intent. Boom. Can we beat out the D-React? Nope, they don't. They're not gonna utilize D-React. I think the build that they're playing with Teklo currently is actually the build that I played against at the PQ, or like a similar build that was at the PQ. Because they're not, it doesn't seem like they're just trying to full block everything until they get their armor. It seems as though they're really trying to, you know, almost play like a push-pull kind of thing where they're like blocking a lot, but they're also sending a lot. Yeah. You might be wondering why I pitched the Pledge Fealty. I just, 1, I think it's more value to fully maximize my hand. But 2, there's actually a good reason I did it. And that reason is, late game, when your opponent's at low life, they're more likely to overblock. And Pledge Fealty helps you sidestep, which is incredibly useful. I can't tell you how many games I've had where it'll be late game, they'll be at like sub 10 life, and I'll be like, okay, attack for 1, and they'll be like, block 6, and I'll be like, Pledge Fealty, attack for 1 more, and they'll be like, okay, block 1. Hansend, you're dead. It is so good. It is so good. So rewarding. Feels so nice. We're going to go Searing Gaze, and we're going to make a Vigor token, actually, with the grains to set up Fire and Brimstone. Boom. to card 8, setting up a Vigor, which is going to be incredibly powerful because that's, you know, Fire and Brimstone turns Chain Link 1, and then just go. Oh, I love this deck. I fucking love Fang. Can even make a second one too. Yeah, we make a second one just in case. In case we get like a Hunt the Hunted in the next hand, and we can go 4 daggers wide into a Hunt the Hunted. It's unlikely, but you know, let's see. It's possible. Okay, and then we're gonna move to end, close the combat chain, and we're gonna arsenal this last card, this Fire and Brimstone. No! Chat, I fucking called it! Oh my god! Okay, how much is this? So that's gonna be 3 into 5 into 5 into 3 into 8. So hold on, I'm gonna calculate this on my calculator. I'm gonna pull out my calc. Calc is short for calculator, chat. So we're gonna throw the first dagger. That's gonna be Fire and Brimstone's gonna do 3 damage. We're gonna do the second one. We're gonna crack a fealty, do scar tissue. It's gonna be 2. That's gonna be 5. Next one's gonna be a firm loyalty, which is gonna be another 5. Next one's gonna be tooth, which is gonna be 2. Then the plus 1 for the dagger, which is gonna be another 3. And the last one's gonna be hunted, which is 5. Plus the 3 from tooth, which is gonna be 8. So that's 24 damage. a 5 card 24. What do I say to that? What do you say to that? What do you say to that? And the thing is, this could have been any attack action, and it would have gone from a 5 card 24 to a 5 card 23. Like, guys, I don't know what else. If that doesn't show you how absolutely fucking bonkers Fang is, where someone's at 26, and I'm like, ah, cool, I can threaten almost fucking lethal? Like, come on. Breaking a fealty. Scar tissue. I'm not gonna create a vigor. Okay. We're gonna swing another one. Are they gonna block? I don't think they're gonna block all of it. I don't think they can block all of this. I don't know if they can. It's 24 damage. Oh, Fire and Brimstone's such a good card. That's fine. Fate. Okay, cool. Cool. That's fine. And then swing into this. Activate Tooth. And swing to Hunt the Hunted. Or Hunt the Hunter. The thing is, I'm kind of putting it face up on the table with the one floating. But I don't know if they're gonna think that I just don't want the vigor anymore, or if I actually have something planned. They don't know. Boom. 28 damage, and they're marked. So I get another fealty this hits. Sink below. Do they have another D-React? Do they have it? Do they have it? Nope, they don't. 18 to 34. And the thing is, just pushing damage. Scorcher is a pretty good card. It's basically a 4-pitch card. Activating Vossen. Yeah. We're also going to arsenal the Searing Gaze to set up a good 5-card hand. Yeah, 2 evos, which isn't great, but isn't bad. Sidestep. With Tooth? No, they're like, okay. Use a full card to block 2 damage. It's another strong part of Fang. You can there's so many cards that let you sidestep. You're like, okay, block 6, Pledge, Tooth, fucking so much shit. Fucking Long Whiskers, additional attack. One more, nerd. That's 11 damage off of a dagger. Taking them down to 12 and marking them as well. God, this is... just the numbers are so on rate. It's so hard to block. Sigil, that's fine. Arsenal Pass. And, oh. Saber Bloodshed! Oh my god, the best fucking card! Right after they get marked. Oh no, Evo Soul Memory. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Because they're going to get another IP, I think. Or is it? Yeah, another IP game. Scheisse. Oh well. We're still going to try to get there. So, let's see if we can push over. They don't have D-Reacts. That's going to be 11. Snatch with 11, go again? Chat? Is this real? They don't have the D-Reacts. So they're going to get marked. We're going to draw a card. Offer Vigor. Do we have another Hunt Hunter? Ooh, we do have another Hunt Hunter. Do I want to pay for Vigor though? How much do we legit? We're not going to get Vigor. We're not going to do that. Because if we arsenal the Relentless Pursuit, we can combo it with another Saber Bloodshed. Because usually my plan, if I see a Relentless Pursuit or Saber Bloodshed later in the game, is just arsenal it, save it, and set up the combo. It's just really strong. Prognosticate? Or no, Fabricate. Oh, fuck. Which card is Prognosticate again? There's a card called Prognosticate. I keep mixing that one and this one up. Fabricate. Let's just get 5. You're still taking 2. You're still getting marked. And the thing is, when you're at sub 10, you can't afford to be taking little bits of 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. Can't afford it. It's gonna kill you sooner or later. And the thing is, guys, I still have all my armor intact. So they try sending something like, oh, Terminator tank. On hit, discard a card. I can just go... There's 6. Swing with Oath. I didn't like having to give up a card, but it is what it is. They're so low life, it doesn't even really matter at this point. And I wasn't going to be able to make full use of it anyway, because my arsenal's clogged. That's 2 Oaths in the same hand. Not really good, but oh well. It's fine. Pop a Fealty. Activate Glint the Quicksilver. Oh. Oh my god! It's gonna be up to 9. Or 8. I can do math. Is it gonna happen? Is this happening? Yeah, 8. Oh my god. Guys. That... Ellen. Total damage threatened, 110. We still had 30 cards left in our fucking deck. Total damage dealt, 44. Average damage per turn, 12.22. Above rate average damage. Damn. Average value per turn, 13. Like, guys, what else do you need to know to see that Fang is absolutely the nuts? He's the gas. He's the nuts. He's insane.